I'm at 1271 Forest Walk Drive in Dayton, Ohio. We're doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. Now we're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that would be concerning to the buyer. Our access location is an outside clean out here. It's a you can see the clean out there. We're up just to the right of the front door here. You can see there's the front door. Look over. I had to dig it up. I had to locate it and dig it up with a probe. I will leave it uncovered partially. I will try to put a flag next to it because it probably will get covered back over, but a good idea would be to put like some sort of a marker or something on it so you do know the clean out's there in case it's ever needed. I kind of poked around with the probe until I found it. There are other ways to find it, but it's somewhat difficult and you don't want to have to pull a toilet or something to get access to this if it's needed. And so again, I'll put a green flag on top of it. I'll leave it partially uncovered, but some of the dirt may come back. Now, this does have what we call a sweep on it, which forces my camera to go out towards the street. Doesn't allow me to inspect the line under the house, which is pretty normal to put these on there. Always wonder why they did it, but it doesn't allow you to go back into the house. It only allows the camera to go out towards the street. And so there are no other clean outs in the house. There's no other access. So the only other way you'd be able to do that is if you pulled a fixture. So we'll only be able to inspect from here out to the sewer main, which appears to be in the middle of the road. And so normally when we find issues they are on the exterior of the home. And with this being PVC, what we will do is I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to run some water and some fixtures in the house. That way we know that the water is making it out to this point at least. They did run some what you want to call it, functional tests or whatever. They do run water through all the fixtures during the whole home inspection, so that would have been done earlier. And so right now I am going to run some water in the furthest bathroom from this point, and that way we know that the water is coming all the way through. I don't have to pause the video to go do that. Okay, we got the water running. Now I'm going to have to kind of shake the camera off here, get it rinsed off. Alright, see, it didn't take long at all for it to happen. And it should have flushed that little bit of dirt that fell in there. When we open the cap, should flush that right out. Should be PVC all the way out, although this does look green. What you have here is SDR 35, and there is another clean out there, but it's been buried, I'm sure. Similar to this one, probably deeper. But the green pipe is SDR 35, and then on the interior of the home, and for this clean out up to this point, they would use a white, call it Schedule 40. It's two different rating systems, but they are both PVC and similar wall thickness. So far, the line is looking really, really good. You can see there the connections are nice and tight. We haven't seen any root intrusion. You can see a little bit of, it is about 30 degrees today, so the steam is probably a little worse off the warm water that's going through there. But this also allows you to highlight any low spots when you're running water through it. Any low spots would obviously fill up with water to the point where it could overtake that low spot in the line. So far, the water is flowing freely, and it looks like it's everything is carrying all the water very, very well. I've got actually 2 different fixtures running, 2 tubs running, and so it's a good deal of water. And we are dropping off probably into the top half of the main. We're dropping, if you look in the bottom left hand corner, you can see it's about a 42-degree angle here, dropping. That's why the water is splashing so hard up against the camera there. And here we are in the main. If you can kind of see that, but we are opening up into that larger pipe there at that fitting. And so we have made it all the way out to the main, and everything looks wonderful. And so as we come back up and we even out back to a relatively flat pipe, and then it should clear up there once we get to that point. As you can see, the line, it's very, very good, and it's carrying all the water that it needs to. And so even with that large amount of water, you can kind of see a little bit of a wear mark on either side of the pipe to show that it's, you know, a third of the way up the pipe, a quarter to a third of the way up the edge of the pipe, even under its heaviest usage, which is really good. It's allowing you to see that there's no, high level of water at any point in the line. It just shows no obstruction. The line is flowing freely. Couple spots where they dove drastically to get to lower spots and then level back out. Some of that, a lot of times these other cleanouts right like that, you can see the connection on the top of the pipe. A lot of times those cleanouts down in the yard a little ways are where when they build the neighborhood, the developer comes through, builds the sewer main, like puts the sewer mains in before they even put the roads in, and they put the roads in. And when they do all that, they run a pipe over underneath where the road's going to be, and then they stub it up onto the lot. And then when they come through after all that's put in, and they build when they actually build the house, they run it out to that point. And usually that clean out spot and then subsequently the dive right afterwards is usually because that's where they brought the riser pipe or the stand pipe up, and then they leave it stubbed out, and so they know exactly where that pipe is, and they will connect onto that spot. It's pretty obvious when you drive by a new neighborhood. You'll see the roads in, no houses, and you'll see a bunch of green pipe sticking up like flagpoles, about 3 foot, 4 foot up out of the ground, all over, one for each lot or one for each home connection when the houses for when the houses get built at a later date. All right, so everything looked wonderful. I didn't see any issues at all. Again, all the connections looked nice and tight. It had good slope on it. Wasn't holding any water in any spots, so no bellies. Everything looked really, really good. Nothing to really report. And so that's going to end the inspection at 1271 Forest Walk Drive in Dayton, Ohio.